What is up, guys? UFC 287 coming up on pay-per-view on Saturday, April 8th. And I've already made a prediction video on Pereira versus Adesanya. And I've already, I made a mid-adjustment after when the first fight was about to take place. I made an adjustment and I said that Pereira was actually going to win instead of Adesanya. I made that prediction and I said that Pereira was going to beat Adesanya. And it turns out I was correct. Pereira did beat Adesanya. And this coming up, they're having a rematch in the UFC this time. It's already been established that Pereira beat him the first time, knocked him out the second time in kickboxing, and then proceeded in their first fight in the UFC. He defeated him via TKO. And now we're on the second fight, on and about to get ready for the second fight. So in this one, I'm going to give my analysis and we're going to see how it goes. Just starting off the card, looking at this from the start, we see Gerald Meerschaert versus this guy. Gerald Meerschaert is the guy who got knocked out by Khamzat. So I don't really care about these fighters. But if I had to say, I'd just go with Gerald just because I know him. Chris Barnett, I don't know these guys. Michael Chiesa versus Li Jinliang. Li Jinliang is the guy that Khamzat also defeated, along with Gerald Meerschaert. He got choked out. But now he's going up against Michael Chiesa, which, I don't know if you guys know Michael Chiesa, but this is an interesting matchup, actually. Now that I look at it on paper, I think this is a very interesting matchup. Who I think would win, Li Jinliang or Michael Chiesa. I mean, they're both pretty much not the top-ranked fighters, but they're still good fighters. I don't know who's going to win this one. It can go either way, to be honest. But, yeah, I'm not going to say anybody. Chris Curtis, Kelvin Gastelum. It's an interesting fight. Chris Curtis is fighting Kelvin Gastelum now. Interesting. 30-9. Yeah, I don't watch too much of these fights. I'm not a big, guy on these fights. I know Kelvin Gastelum is one of the top veterans who went toe-to-toe with Adesanya. So, I'm not going to make a prediction because I don't know. Because Kelvin Gastelum is on a losing streak, so I don't know. Raul Rosas Jr., Christian Rodriguez. This guy's a new up-and-comer guy. If you guys didn't know, Raul Rosas Jr., he's the youngest UFC fighter to have ever, in the UFC. He started at around, I think, 17, 16 in the UFC. He's younger than even John Jones started UFC. And I don't know how he did, but he did. He got his parents' approval and whatnot. And yeah, he's on the come up, man. Let's look at his stats. See how tall. He's 5'9", 136 pounds, and he's been growing up with wrestling. He's got the whole cauliflower ear and everything. So yeah, this guy's legit. Good luck to him. I mean, he has a bright future ahead of him. Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Yeah, I know this guy, and I know both of them. And I know this guy, Khamzat Chimaev, also destroyed this guy. This whole card is filled with guys that Khamzat Chimaev just fucked up. When you really look at it, it's filled with guys that Khamzat just messed up, man. And I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see Khamzat fight Pereira or like somebody else and just mess them up, bro. Because we're seeing right now, man, Khamzat beat all of these guys on the card. Even Gilbert Burns. He beat fucking Gilbert Burns too. So, yeah, man. This is interesting to see what Khamzat's going to fit in here. But Kevin Holland, Santiago Ponzinibbio, like I said, I'm not going to do another prediction. I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy. Kevin Holland lost to Khamzat. But, Kevin Holland, I will respect Kevin Holland's striking. I think his striking is actually pretty good for a long, lanky guy. And then knockout, he has knocked a lot of people out. So I will compliment that Kevin Holland has good striking. But let's look at Kevin Holland's record. Let's see who he's lost to in the past. So he got an L to Stephen Thompson. Interesting. Yeah, Khamzat, of course, beat him. Yeah, he's kind of on the KO'd and TKO'd by Stephen Thompson, bro. Damn. And Stephen Thompson's a good striker, but yeah, man. Kevin Holland. And yeah, Kevin Holland. I'm not gonna make a prediction on this. I don't know who to win this. I'm not gonna make a prediction. Rob Font, Adrianus. I mean, I'm not gonna make a prediction on this either. Rob Font, I know both of them. Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. Right off the bat, I would have to go with Gilbert Burns on this fight. I know Gilbert Burns. He's the only guy who actually hurt Khamzat Chimaev in his fight. Like, he landed some good right hooks on Khamzat Chimaev, and he did pretty good. And Gilbert Burns really has great jiu-jitsu, and I don't see Jorge Masvidal doing anything with the jiu-jitsu or anything, So I'm going with Gilbert Burns on this one, but you never know. You never know with Jorge Masvidal. This guy gets split-second knockouts and stuff, so you never know. But I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns on this one. And now the main event, what we've been waiting for, Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. And there's a lot of dissent on this. Alex Pereira versus Adesanya. There's a lot of dissent. Not everybody, will agree with me. And there's a lot of things that go into it. I changed my... I used to be a fan of Adesanya. I used to love Adesanya. I used to think Adesanya was a great fighter. I used to think he was one of the best. And, I loved Adesanya. I adored him. I thought he was a great fighter, a great personality, great model for the sport. I think he has a great personality. I think what he does for the sport is nice. Like the theatrics that he puts are pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. That's all I got to say. His theatrics are cool and people think they're cool. Whether I think they're cool, I mean, they are what they are. I don't think they're like, something spectacular, coming out with the Naruto, but he's an entertainer. That's all I got to say. He's a good entertainer. He's good at entertaining. That's really it. He's good at entertaining. I can't go against that. He's a great entertainer. But fighting overall, dude, we see this rivalry of Alex Pereira and Adesanya, and objectively, we can say that Pereira is the superior fighter. He's beaten him in kickboxing already, for the first time in a decision. In a decision when that, yes, was controversial. Division, and I'd have to rewatch the fight. I don't know exactly. But it was controversial from what I've heard from the fans. So from what I've heard, it's controversial. But he still won. And then the second time, knocking him out. Okay, you can't, that's the thing. You can't recover from a knockout. It's the same way Kamaru Usman lost to Leon Edwards, the way he got knocked out. You can't recover from that kind of knockout, which is why it also led to him losing also. Because you can't recover from that kind of knockout. Getting knocked out in that fashion changes you as a fighter. You're not the same fighter. You're hesitant. You don't do certain things. And he didn't do it against Leon Edwards because Leon Edwards really was that guy. He really was the guy who would knock you out. So, I honestly, I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. After getting knocked out and hurt that time and just losing, taking those L's, I don't think Adesanya is going to be able to come back from this, honestly. We lost Kamaru Usman as a champ. He was a good champ, dominant. Now we're going to lose Israel Adesanya. And the other one we were thinking of was Francis Ngannou. But, he left the UFC, so he's not there anymore. Yeah. I think this is the end to Israel Adesanya's legacy in the middleweight division. I truly believe Alex Pereira is going to knock him. He's going to knock him out this time. It's going to be different, bro. He's going to spark him. I do believe that's going to happen. It's going to be a knockout. Pereira's been training. He's fucking huge, strong. But this is my opinion. I think that Pereira is going to win. However, there's always a however. There's a but to everything in fighting. Fighting is a very unpredictable sport. However, if Adesanya can ride out a decision the same way he did the last fight, and he can beat him through points and things of that nature, or utilize his grappling, and when you saw the fight in that second round, Adesanya did hurt Pereira technically towards the end of that fight. It was the end of the fight, but he did technically hurt him. So if Adesanya can beat him to a decision or hurt him in this manner, I think he can win. But looking at it objectively, Pereira is the superior fighter, and Pereira won. Pereira's the winner. Pereira's going to win, and Pereira's going to knock him out. This is my opinion, my final prediction. I'm not going to change it. I do believe Pereira is going to win this fight. If he's going to win this fight, I do believe he's going to win this by knockout. I do believe he's going to win this fight by knockout. Or TKO the same way he did before. TKO or knockout. That's what he's going to do. It's going to be the end of the story, and Pereira is going to be the champion. Now, the funny thing is that Khamzat beat all these fighters on the roster. Like, he's beaten Kevin Holland and all these guys, Gilbert Burns. He's beaten Gerald Milshart and Li Jingyang. I'm just seeing this fight card. I see Khamzat coming up, and I see Khamzat fighting Alex Pereira, man. Khamzat versus Alex Pereira would be an insane matchup, man. And I would love to see that, dude. That'd be an amazing match. And the biggest test for Alex Pereira is, will he survive the grappling of Khamzat Chimaev? Will he survive that grappling? If not, then it will have to come down to a striking battle. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. This is Jaballer, and until next time, peace out.